Very good evening to everyone. So thank you so much for coming this Friday evening. So today is my 5th topic. So I have delivered 5 Dhamma talk, and the Sunday morning will be my last topic, last talk, last sharing. So it's about the why and how to practice loving friendliness. And also I include the around 20 minutes of practice session. So today's topic, did the Buddha reject rites and ritual? So we all know all the world religions are practicing variety of rites and ritual. Most of rites and rituals are related to needs of the people, needs of the society, right? So Buddhism, as a human-centric religion, Buddhism also introduced some rites and ritual as a devotional practice. Rites and ritual as an important elements of human life have been a significant aspect of Buddhist practice since the time of the Buddha. Rites and ritual are a form of language that express many dimensions of human life, including our relationship with others and our emotional and psychological life, right? And also, as actions done with other people to share our common values, so rites and ritual are play a very important role to bring the community and mutual support. And rites and rituals are often involve symbolism and speak to our subconscious. When rites and rituals done frequently or repeatedly frequent, they can shape our disposition. And when we done wholeheartedly, rites and ritual can help us to discover and express some of our deepest feelings and aspirations. So in this way, dear friends, rite and ritual play a very important role in each and individual of us. However, we all know that Buddha preached the Dhamma, which is very deep in meaning and profound in philosophically, aimed to all human beings to achieve the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. Some Buddhists and particularly some Buddhist scholars, they are reluctant to accept rite and ritual because they believe that they come to conclusion that rational Buddhism doesn't have any room for any sort of rites and ritual. So rites and rituals is not for pure Buddhist. Why they have come to this kind of conclusion? When for the first time Buddhist practitioner break through the illusion and awaken himself to awareness, realization, they have to get rid of attachment to rites and ritual, which is called Silabbata Paramasa. So, by abandoning this concept of Silabbata Paramasa, attachment to or clinging to rites, rituals and vows, then only he can attain Sotapanna. These are called Dasa Sanyojana, 10 fetters. The third one is the Silabbata Paramasa. So they conclude that because of that reason, there is no any room for rites and ritual. But in fact, dear friends, this is very misunderstanding. So today's topic, we are going to discuss what is the true meaning of the Silabbata Paramasa, what is the meaning of rites and ritual in Buddhist perspective, and what are the rites and ritual Buddha rejected, and what are the rites and ritual Buddha encouraged. So these are the topics that today we are going to discuss. The first one, why don't some Buddhists accept rites and ritual? It's because of there are three reasons. Basically, we can list. The first one is recognition of attachment to rites and ritual, which is called Silabbata Paramasa. As one of the 10 fetters, we call Dasa Samyojana for spiritual progress. The second one, Pali Nikayas do not contain any explicit details account of rites and ritual. So they argue that in the Pali Nikayas, Pali Tripitaka, they cannot found any clear explanation where Buddha accepted any rites and rituals. So they come to conclusion that, so then there is no, Buddha rejected all sort of rites and ritual. The last point, rites and ritual do not resonate with the rational dimension of early Buddhist teaching. Because of these three reasons, some Buddhists, and especially some Buddhist scholars, they are reluctant to accept rites and ritual in Buddhism. Those who are practicing rite and ritual, they openly criticize they are not practicing Buddhism. But again, this is very misunderstanding. First, try to understand what is Silabbata Paramasa really mean. Not only Pali Tripitaka, even the Chinese Agama, today it is translated into the even Agama text, which is translated into Chinese today, they accept that attachment to vows and rituals is recognized as one of the 10 fetters, which is called Dasa Sanyojana. So when someone attains the first stage, stream entry, we call the Sotapatti, so he has to abandon first three fetters. First one is Sakkaya Ditti, self-view. Second one is Vichikicha, irrational doubt. And followed by of course, the Silabbata Paramasa, attachment to vows and rituals. So these three fetters always appears together. And the many discourses, we can find these three fetters appear together and says, if someone attains Sotapatti, he has to abandon these three fetters completely, irreversibly. So what does this term mean? Silabbata Paramasa. What does this term refer to? Usually this term literally translate clinging or attachment to rites and rituals or vows. This term, you see, there are three components in this term, Silabbata Paramasa. Sila, Bata, Paramasa. Sila we all know, right? Sila we know that the morality, ethics. So here also has the same meaning, and also it has the rituals. Sila, it is not always mean the ethics, but in the Indian context, contemporary when Buddha's time, the Sila people call some kind of the rituals practice. The Vata, or in Sanskrit it's called the Vrata, means various rigid vows and penances and self-mortification. Here, our attention should be given the last two, the penances and self-mortification. In the Bodhiraja Kumara Sutta, Buddha once says that when he explained his severe austerities, the 6 years of his austerity practice, Buddha says that when he touched his abdomen, he could touch the spinal cord bones. When he touched his spinal cord, he could touch his abdomen. So that was his severe practice. So that kind of practice, Buddha was rejected. So Vata, Brata or Vruta means that kind of practices. And self-mortification. So other suttas, Maha Siyanada Sutta, in the Arya Pariyesana Sutta, these suttas explain how Buddha as a bodhisattva, how he practiced self-mortification, ascetic life. So last components of this term, Paramasa. Paramasa means extreme attachment or overwhelm or infatuation of rites and ritual. So we can translate this term, three components, Silabbata Paramasa. Sometimes it is called the Silabbata Upadana. So Upadana is, you all know, right? Upadana means clinging or attachment. So Silabbata Upadana is a synonym for the Silabbata Paramasa, refer to the attachment or clinging to rigid ascetic practices as a way of liberation. That's the most important part. If someone practices any sort of asceticism, any sort of rites and rituals as a way of liberation, as a mean of liberation, believing that practicing this ritual, I can attain liberation, and that is Silabbata Paramasa. It is not practicing rites and ritual. Practicing sort of rites and ritual, believing that I can attain liberation. I can attain enlightenment. So that is the Silabbata Paramasa. So these three discourses, Bodhiraja Kumara Sutta, Maha Siyanada Sutta, Arya Pariyesana Sutta, very clearly explain Buddha's critique on attachment to rites and rituals as a means of liberation. So what then the Buddha rejected is not the rituals itself, but being overwhelmed with rituals. So remember that what Buddha rejected is not the ritual, but attachment to rituals or practicing rituals as a means of liberation, as a way of liberation. So these are kind of the severe austerities and penances and self-mortification practiced in India during the time of the Buddha. So this is one of the very famous one, right? So first one. So how the Buddha practiced self-mortification. And even today, some ascetic, some religious, Indian religions people, they follow in this kind of the severe austerities. Even the Arya Pariyesana Sutta, the Buddha has practiced. The Bodhisattvas practice this kind of the rituals, this kind of the rituals and rites, believing that will bring him the liberation. During the summer time in India, these days I think the temperature is around above 50. So you can imagine how hot it is. During the summer time, sit in the heated the rock and put the all direction that the fire, put on the fire. And like that's exactly like that. And torturing himself, they believe that he can burn out their past karma and attain liberation. That's the ritual they practice. And these are rituals, some of the ritual. Even today, some ascetic, they behave like a dog. They walk like a dog, they eat like a dog. Some behave like a cow. Every movement, every behavior, everything they do like a cow. Torturing the body, physical body. Because kaya danda, kaya karma, they believe is the most important one. But Buddhism, karma is not the physical, just mere physical action. It is about chetana, it's about mind, right? But all this, the Jainism and Hindu religion, they believe that the kaya karma, kaya danda. So that is why by torturing to physical body, they can burn, they can wash away, they can reduce their past karma and attain liberation. Bodhisattva, before his enlightenment, he has been through all these kind of the rituals practice. And he understood that. Instead of attaining enlightenment, it lead him to more delusion. So that is why he rejected the Silabbata Paramasa, rites and rituals, attachment to rites and rituals as a mean of liberation. So then let's see what are the rites and ritual in Buddhism. As I mentioned in the very beginning, rites and rituals are form of language that express our human experience. The rites and ritual, they connect us with other people. And rite and ritual, we connect with external conditions. And they are express our inner feeling. So that is very important, right? When you are living as the social being. So rites and rituals are always involved with symbolism. It's always represent something. In Buddhist rites and ritual, when we involve any kind of the rite and ritual, it symbolically represents something. For example, the wear in the blessing trait. I think nobody wear the blessing trait here, right? What is a very common practice, right? In temple, during the Vesak day. Everyone is lined up. I saw that. It's a long queue. People are lined up go get the blessing. And they tied the blessing trait. So ask your venerable monks or nuns, you approach venerable monks or nun, and ask to tie the blessing trait on your hand. So it is a ritual actually. It's kind of the rites and ritual we are practicing, even though we don't know it. So what does it mean actually? We are in the blessing trait. What does this express? In Sri Lanka, it's a white color one. Thailand, sometimes it's the yellow. The Malaysia and Singapore, the blessing trait is more colorful with the colors of the Buddhist flag. So it represents something about you. It tells something about you to the external world, to other person, right? When you are wearing blessing trait. Particularly, when you are wearing the blessing trait with the colors of the Buddhist flag. It represents that the Buddhist principle. The flag of any country or any nation, it represents the country's values and principle, right? So exactly in the same manner, when you are wearing the blessing trait with the colors of the Buddhist flag, it represents that you are a person who is upholding Buddhist principles, teaching of the Buddha. What are these? Noble Eightfold Path. So you are upholding. That is the symbolic meaning when you are wearing the blessing trait. Not just simply getting your blessings. You are so to the world, you are a follower of the Buddha. Right? Other religious followers, they don't wear it. They have their own type of the strings, but not the one that we are wearing, right? So we represent something. We are telling something. So this is kind of the very simple ritual we are practicing. And how about the offering lights, flowers, incense? All these are, dear friends, they are rites and ritual. And they are expressing your wishes, your aspirations, right? And they are symbolically expressions, telling other people. So before the comments of this Dhamma talk, I light up the candle and bow down to the Buddha, and if following me, you did the same. What do you think? Isn't it the rites and ritual? It's the rite and ritual we do. But they have the meaning behind. So when you light up the candle, respectfully, you recite Ganasarapadittena. It's a Pali word. So even you don't know that Pali stanza, you know the meaning then. Like this light, dispel the darkness. May I have the wisdom to dispel ignorance of my mind. So you aspiration to enlightenment, right? That's the purpose when you light up the candle. That's the quality of the light. Lights had the ability to dispel the darkness. So we are wishing, we have the kind of the noble aspiration to attain bliss of Nibbana. Like the candle light dispel the darkness. May I dispel the ignorance. That's the meaning. Now how about the offering flowers? Do you think it's a ritual? It's a ritual. Offering flowers, it's a ritual. We do. But when you offer flower, you remind yourself like these beautiful flowers which are subject to vedeve, which are subject to change. So everything else in the world is impermanent. So you are reflecting, contemplating the Dhamma. Not just mere offering the flowers to the Buddha and wishing the good luck and more money, right? No, it's not they have the meaning. So it's the rites and ritual. So this kind of rite and ritual Buddha didn't reject it. So how about then? So normally, end of the every rituals, I think every rituals have the series of ritual. From the very beginning, we have a series of ritual. So one of the very famous and simple ritual is asking forgiveness. You approach to the Buddha statue and kneel down respectfully and close your eyes and reflect. Try to think all the mistakes you made throughout the day, knowingly or unknowingly, and ask him forgiveness from the Buddha. And promise to yourself, may I transfer my all the mistake into the positive one. I'm not going to do this mistake again. I'm not going to repeat this mistake. I will make myself correct. So it's kind of the rituals. And you are promising yourself to transform, become a better human person, human being. So these are rituals we are practicing every day. In fact, these are very meaningful rituals. Buddha did not reject this type of rituals. So then what are the rites and ritual Buddha rejects? Any type of devotional practices, rites and rituals which are ethically blameworthy, spiritually harmful, karmically destructive and socially unbeneficial. So any sort of rituals, these are harmful, no meaning, and karmically destructive, Buddha categorically rejected. So during the time of the Buddha, most famous ritual and the most serious and cruel ritual is sacrifices. Animal sacrifices. Not only animal sacrifices, there were human sacrifices as well. And before the COVID, until I think 2018 something in Nepal, right? They killed thousands of cows and buffaloes, right? But fortunately, it was banned now. Because they had been practicing that they had been doing that sacrifices for many 100 and 1,000 years. These two, the Asameda and Purisameda, it's a kind of the ritual they practiced during the time of the Buddha. Ritual of killing horses. And Purisameda, the ritual of killing human being, killing a man. So these kind of the ritual, Buddha categorically, flatly and rejected. They are karmically very destructive and socially unbeneficial and spiritually very harmful. It creates a lot of problem for oneself and others. So there is no any meaning in Buddhist point of view. So Buddha rejected all sort of the animal sacrifices. And what are the rites and ritual Buddha rejected? Any sort of rite and ritual that lead to illusion and delusion and create ignorance, Buddha categorically rejected. So there are some belief, even today, they have been practicing. So belief that if once they bath in a particular river, particularly the Ganges river, they can wash away their bad karma, unwholesome karma, and they can purify themselves. In one discourses, when Buddha was going for alms round, one Brahmin during the winter, he was bathing in the very cold water, right? During the winter. So then Buddha asked, Brahmin, what are you doing? So I am washing away the previous unwholesome karma. Then Buddha asked, Brahmin, is there any fish and water snake and turtles in that well? Yes, Buddha, yes. So Buddha says that, then Brahmin, those water snakes, turtles and fish, they are the most purified beings. If you can wash away by bathing this water, the cold water, so they are living in that water, so they are the most purified one, right? So this kind of the rites and ritual, dear friends, they lead to illusion. They create more ignorance. So Buddha categorically rejected this kind of the rites and ritual. So another one, in Sri Lanka, some people still believe that going under the elephant's stomach, they can ward off their evil planetary influences. You know the planetary influences? So bad influences come from the other planets. They believe that kind of the thing. So Buddha rejected this kind of the rites and rituals. So still people practice, particularly when the newborn baby. If there are some bad influences come from the other planet, if you go through under the snake, the belly, so it's very dangerous. So he can ward off all these bad influences. So that kind of the belief, the Buddha rejected. So Buddha emphasized that no one can purify anyone, right? One can purify through only mind cultivation, through only practice, not believe in this kind of the activities and rite and rituals. So that is why Buddha rejected all these rites and rituals, because they are ethically blameworthy and spiritually harmful and karmically destructive and socially also very harmful. So Buddha rejected. And also any kind of the rites and ritual that lead to illusion and create ignorance, then Buddha rejected. So these are the rites and ritual. Buddha says that Silabbata Paramasa, attachment to rites and ritual as a way of liberation, as a way of purification. So Buddha rejected. So then, dear friends, what are the rites and rituals that Buddha encouraged? This is totally opposite one. Any kind of the rite and ritual, ethically praiseworthy, karmically productive, spiritually wholesome, socially beneficial. Any kind of the rituals that we are performing, if we go through this one, we have the benefit for yourself and others, and spiritually it's a benefit, and emotionally it's a helpful. The Buddha accept, encourage. So rites and rituals that are beneficial and helpful to transform ourselves spiritually, then Buddha accept it. The first one, we all do. The bowing down to the Buddha is kind of the rite and ritual actually we do. It's not that we are respecting to the person and we are bowing down to the Buddha to please the Buddha. It's not that. When you are practicing the Buddhist path, we develop the saddha, right? Rational or the foundational confidence. We call the shraddha. It's not the blind faith. We develop we can say the trust of faith which based on the rational. So when we learn in the Dhamma, and when we particularly practice in the Dhamma, we develop that kind of the shraddha for ourselves. And we bow down to the Buddha. What happened to the bow down? Right? When you bow down, so those who have the egoism, he cannot bow down, right? Even when Buddha first visit his relatives, what they did? All the senior one, send the younger one and ask them to bow down, respect. And the senior one didn't bow down, didn't respect to the Buddha. But they cannot stay alone. then finally they bow down and respect and ask forgiveness. So it means when we have the ego, we are not ready to respect other person. First, when we bow down to the Buddha, it means that we are lowering our egoism. At the same time, we show the respect, that's true, and also we appreciate what they have done to us. When we respect to your parents, we respect to the parents, and we appreciate the things they have done to us. And we show our gratitude. When we bow down to the Buddha, we do the same thing. When we bow down to the monks, when we bow down to the parents, teachers, so we are lower in the egoism and egocentric mindset, and we show our respect, gratitude towards the respected person. That's what we do. So Buddha appreciate such kind of rites and ritual. The rites and rituals, then Buddha encourage taking 3 refuges. Do you think it's the rites? It's a ritual that we all follow. It's a ritual. That's a very fundamental, the primary ritual, and the one of the first ritual Buddha introduced himself. When he say Buddhan saranam gacchami, Dhamman saranam gacchami, Sanghan saranam gacchami, I go to the Buddha for my refuge, as my refuge, and Dhamma as my refuge, and Sangha as my refuge, is a kind of the ritual we practice. That is the fundamental, very primary ritual we all practice. Then how about the ordination, the pabbajja? It's a ritual. There are a lot of ritual when you enter the monastic life. There are a lot of ritual we have to practice. So all these things introduced Buddha himself. Buddha didn't reject all sort of rituals. What about the chanting? It's a ritual which today we practice. Even Buddha himself introduced chanting as a prophylactic device, the prevention from the sicknesses. So Buddha himself introduced this one. Even the famous the threefold Bojjhanga Sutta. You know the story behind, right? You don't know? So the 3 Bojjhanga Sutta is the factors of enlightenment that Buddha asked to practice to attain enlightenment. But sometimes Buddha asks to recite these 7 factors of enlightenment, the Bojjhanga Sutta, to get the speedy recovery. Even Venerable Maha Kassapa and Maha Moggallana Thera, those Arahant, whenever sick, Buddha visited them and recited this Bojjhanga Sutta, and at the end of this Bojjhanga recitation, they got cured. They recovered. Even once when Buddha was sick, Buddha asked Venerable Arahant Chunda to recite the Bojjhanga. So Buddha got cured. So it's a kind of the ritual we Buddha practice and introduce. The Atanatya Sutta, we recite to word of the fear of the ghost and spirit, Atanatya Sutta. And Dajjagga Sutta, when you have the fear, the Buddha says that the other day, have the war between other divine world, the other is divine, the king of the divine worlds. They said, look at my flag, then you will have the determination, you will get rid of your fear. Buddha says that when you have the fear, reflect the qualities of the Buddha, Itipiso Bhagava Arahant, and recall the qualities and reflect the qualities of the Dhamma, Suakkato Bhagavato. In the Dajjagga Sutta, Buddha says that. And even the qualities of the Sangha. Then your fear will be disappear. So it's kind of the rituals we practice. The reciting Metta Sutta, when you have the fear. And the Ratana Sutta, reciting. So all the chanting is a kind of the rites and ritual we all practice as a Buddhist. So Buddha encourage, appreciate this kind of the rituals and show the benefits. how about the funeral? In the series of rites and ritual, right? Funeral. At the very beginning and at the very end, the cremation until then, and after that as also, there are series of rituals which are not introduced by the Buddha himself, but later on, as a needs of requirements of the people and society, the monks introduced. So during the Buddha's time, there was not the kind of the ritual that we are practicing, but Buddhism was as the accommodative religion. When it's introduced to other countries, they absorb the cultural aspect of the other countries. So that is why when we perform rituals, kind of the rituals, the funeral rituals in Sri Lanka is different from the Burma, and it's different from the China, because the Buddhism absorbed the culture. It didn't reject it. So these kind of rituals, some are based on Buddhist teaching, some are absorbed as a result of the absorption of the local culture. So Buddha these are rituals were not against any Buddhist teaching. So Buddha accepted and encouraged sort of ritual. So what are the rituals? So what the Buddha rejected is the wrong grasping of rites and ritual. What is wrong grasping? So any sort of ritual that just before I explain it, taking 3 refugees and the bow down to the Buddha, offer him a light, candle, flowers, incense. Those kind of ritual, even though Buddha appreciated, encouraged, and have the meaning behind and beneficial for ourselves and others, but they can be the hindrance. How they can be hindrance? If someone believes that taking refuge, Buddhan saranang gacchami, Dhamman saranang gacchami, Sanghan saranang gacchami, and taking other precept itself alone can lead you to enlightenment, then Buddha says that it is the wrong grasping. By offering flower itself, if someone believes that merits can lead me to liberation, then it's a wrong grasping. Bound down to the Buddha 108 times or 1,000 times and believing that can bring me the liberation, that's the wrong grasping. Buddha was rejected. So, relying on venerating the Bodhi tree. Today people have very misunderstanding. I have never seen here the Bodhi tree. It is very nice here, the Sri Lankan Bodhi tree. Sometimes you see there are a lot of flags hanging on the Bodhi tree. Almost all the branches is down. People can the level of the touch. They hang the flags, lot of flags. May the bad planetary influences ward off. So believe in such kind of the thing. The worshipping the Bodhi tree, offering to the Bodhi tree, they believe in that they can ward off their bad karma, unwholesome karma, result of unwholesome karma. So these kind of these are wrong grasping. So venerating the Bodhi tree, showing our respect, gratitude. So venerating the Bodhi tree, Buddha himself, when Buddha was alive, he introduced this one. He asked Venerable Ananda to plant the Bodhi tree at the Jetavana monastery. It is known as the Ananda Bodhi tree. And they represent the Buddha. When Buddha was absent, people respected the Bodhi tree. Showing their respect, gratitude. But if we use that one, venerating the Bodhi tree with the misunderstanding, with other purposes, that's the wrong grasping. So Buddha was rejected. So any type of the rituals, to rely on them, any rituals for liberation is a hindrance to liberation. So Buddha was rejected. So Buddha says that in Dhammapada, Sarancha sarato nyatva asarancha asarato te saram adhigachanti samha sankappa gochara. What is essential, they understood as essential. What is unessential, they regard as unessential. They realize the essence who entertain right thought. So any type of the rituals, even we are practicing, even Buddha himself introduced, as a human being, as a Buddhist, as an intellectual being, we should understand what is right, what is wrong. And what is right, keep in practice, and what is wrong, just leave behind. So you can, as a Buddhist, you can still practicing kind of the right time ritual you have been practicing as a devotional practice, but don't grasp them attachment wrongly. Don't believe that, don't practice any rituals that ritual itself alone bring you to liberation. So don't practice, but reject it. And also any rites and ritual that create illusion, delusion and ignorance, then don't practice. Buddha is rejected. And any rituals and rites and rituals are socially, culturally and psychologically and karmically harmful, unbeneficial, destructive, the Buddha says then rejected. Buddha is rejected and do not practice. So any sort of the rites and ritual that bring you the peace, happiness and the unity and spiritual, particularly spiritual transformation, the Buddha says that you can practice. Buddha encourages. So I think this much is enough as a talk. So, okay, let's open the floor for the Q&A. Yeah?
The so-called the Pali words for Sila, Vata, Paramasa.
Sila, Vata, Paramasa.
That day, this Professor Pemasiri and this Bhante, Dr. Chandima, I think they had kind of like the YouTube talk on the discussing something like that.
Oh, you mean the yesterday?
No, I think some time ago already. But Bhante, did you discuss it in the earlier on this Sila, Vata, Paramasa, the meaning, because I missed out that section. Yeah.
So Sila, Vata, Paramasa, you mean you didn't get what does really mean, right?
Yes, because the problem is we know the so-called the translation basically, as we know, majority are the wrong because there's no equal language between one and another able to translate the meaning. Furthermore, like the Sila, Vata, maybe it's just like the so-called the certain kind of like the behavior or habits that we ultimately for the purpose of the moksha or liberation. So if the meaning is not for liberation, then that's not having any harmful effect. But somehow when they translate it, they say any ritual, whether people put Anjali or people just say greeting, then become a ritual. That's a totally wrong. That kind of on a different perspective. That's why the language misleading more than the so-called representing the whole meaning.
Yeah, that's true. So Sila, Vata, Paramasa, some people understood as the abandoning of abandonments of all rites and rituals. So it is not. So as I explained, it consists of the three words: Sila, Vata or Vruta. Vruta is in Sanskrit and the Indian word, the Vruta. Vruta means the kind of the behavior. Behave like a cow, behave like a dog. So behaving like a bat. Some people in some religious followers in India, they behave like a bat. Their whole life they are hanging. So some practice, they are raising their hand. throughout the whole life. Some are very naked. So this kind of the behavior called the vrata. Paramasa means extreme attachment. So these are no beneficial, spiritually no beneficial. So that's why Buddha rejected. And also any kind of the rites and ritual, they are karmically, socially, spiritually harmful, then also that rejected. That's a reason to reject, right? Like sacrifices. So nobody appreciates it. Yeah. And also rites and rituals, the offering flowers, very simple act of ritual. But if someone believes that just offering flower itself bring me to the liberation, so also Buddha rejected. So there are three components, rejecting the rites and rituals. Silabbata Paramasa got the three ideas. One is the lead to delusion, and that too much extreme attachment. Of course, attachment is an illusion, so it's a hindrance for the liberation. And the harmful. And another very important meaning is performing all this ritual, believing that bring to the liberation. So that just means the Silabbata Paramasa.
You were talking about the Sila Paramata. So that word, is it a neutral word, is it? Or is it a neutral kind of word? Or is it like what our understanding is that it's a wrong, is a unwholesome? Or that word, is it a neutral word?
Unwholesome means?
Doing all the rites and rituals. Is it?
Right, all the rites and rituals are unwholesome.
So is it that Sila Paramata? Does it mean that?
Yeah, you can understand. Thank you, sir. I will answer this question first. Right?
Okay.
It's okay to understand because you see all these rites and rituals. So all these rites and rituals,
yes.
you can understand they are unwholesome.
Yeah.
So
are they? We call them Sila Paramata.
They are Sila.
How about the one that is wholesome, like you say, bowing and all this? Those are not, is it? What we call those that Buddhas accept? What are the term?
Okay.
Because we are a little bit confused.
Yeah. So these are some type of rites and ritual who practiced during the time of the Buddha and who are practicing today. Some of them are unwholesome, like a killing, right?
Yeah.
And torturing. They are unwholesome. So some of them lead to ignorance. And in this sense, we can call the akusala.
Okay.
Right? Akusala.
Okay.
So some rites and ritual we perform in bowing down, they can create kind of the positive energy. We call the merits.
Yes.
But that can be hindrance to your liberation. As I mentioned earlier, if you believe that bowing down itself lead to the liberation, then it's a hindrance.
Okay.
But still, you can get some kind of blessing, kind of the merits, bowing down, respecting to the Buddha.
So what basically that word Sila Paramata? What does it mean? Can it refer to the both sides? Or
Can.
It
Not
can,
only that rites and ritual, you can see the photos. Not only that one, Silabbata Paramasa can be the rites and ritual that we are performing today.
Okay. So it's a generic word.
Okay. That's how we practice. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
Like Buddhan Saranang Gacchami, you say in the morning Buddhan Saranang Gacchami, and in the daytime again your break time you say the Buddhan Saranang Gacchami. Before the go to bed you say the Buddhan Saranang Gacchami. You said that itself, that reciting itself enough.
Okay.
To attain the Nibbana.
Okay.
So it's the Silabbata Paramasa then.
Okay. So Bhante, I got two questions. One is that these are all, delusion. But then why up to today you still have these people practicing? Does it mean that they actually can have liberation? There's one question. The next one is that thank you, Bhante, for giving us more enlightened version of rites and rituals. Because all the while we have been told that to be a Sotapanna, you have to get rid of rites and rituals, and whatever rite and rituals are not correct. Okay, so now you have put it in the right perspective, in the sense that the rite and ritual by itself can be beneficiary as long as we don't attach to it and think that by doing that we can go for liberation. Okay, I think that is very clear cut.
Yeah.
But then why are those scholars or those learned people reject such things? Why are they not like Bhante, which is more, you know how to interpret it correctly? Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So your first question, so why those people are still practicing all the rites and rituals which are unbeneficial? Still doing it. It's because of the bhakti, faith, the blind faith. So Buddhism doesn't encourage blind faith, right? So most of the authoritative religions, they are based on faith, right? Their purpose of performing rites and ritual to please their God who have the power over man. So we don't do rituals to please the Buddha. Instead, to make ourselves calm and make ourselves happy. And kind of the spiritual transformation. The faith is very fundamental aspect of element of any religion. Once you lose the faith, that is the end of that religion. Right? If you assume that they are happy, they think they are happy. So in Buddhism, sometimes it's a great delusion. Not knowing what is suffering, it is a great delusion, right? Yeah. That's the delusion. The delusion, ignorance means not knowing the Four Noble Truth. So Buddhism doesn't encourage kind of the belief. So that is why they are still keep continuing do this kind of the rites and ritual. So Buddhism doesn't encourage. So they believe that if you don't perform that kind of rites and ritual, their God or whoever, their religious leader, will curse them. So that is why, that is how they learn when they were very young. That's how they grown up, learning such kind of belief, faith. The faith lead to ignorance, and the blind faith lead to extremism as well. That is why those who have developed the faith, some religion, they are ready to do any kind of the things. Yeah. So the Buddhism doesn't encourage. Buddhism encourage the rational trust, confidence. Not only the person, don't trust on the person. Buddha himself said that, don't trust on me. In the Kalama Sutta, Buddha said that there are 8 things. Yeah. Do not believe in anything because of the written in the religious text. Do not believe in anything. It's because of that the passing down from the generation to generation. Do not believe in anything. It's because of the well-known famous person taught. This kind of thing Buddha says that do not believe. And the Buddha himself says that, do not believe myself. Believe the enlightenment that I have achieved. And believe in yourself by following this right path, 8 noble path, you also can attain. So what happens today? You believe in the religious person, either monk or someone personally you believe in. So normally today, we believe in the person, right? Either in the monks, because they are the most closer to you. So Buddha is not there. So Dhamma is in, you of course you believe in the Buddha and Dhamma, but you more believe in the monk, right? So they are the one who always have the relationship, the contact with you. So if you see any misbehave, then at that very spot, you will lose your faith, right? the confidence. So Buddha says that don't believe in the person, believe in the quality.
I was very much attracted to what you say just now regarding the Bojjhanga Parita, because I had pain on my knee, right? It was already 12 weeks of pain, and it is hammering pain, right? Then I thought about this Bojjhanga, and I started reciting Bojjhanga almost every night, and the swelling went off and the pain started to decrease. But there are certain things that I don't quite understand when I recite this Bojjhanga, as is mentioned. I hope Bhante can enlighten me, especially on this part of investigation of Dharma and collectedness in this chanting of Bojjhanga. Thank you, Bhante. Let me repeat. Investigation of Dharma, collectedness, equanimity, enlightenment factors. It really helps. I would say that this Bojjhanga, as recommended by the Buddha, and his Attanatiya Sutta, fearless protection, especially at night, where disturbances do occur, helps a lot. Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you so much for question, sir. So Bojjhangas, 7 factors of enlightenment. To realize liberation, to attain the enlightenment, we have to put into practice all the 7 factors. But here, we chant it as a device, as a preventing or curing illnesses. So here, it's okay to have it's better to have the kind of the understanding about the 7 factors, but particularly in this sense, to cure your sicknesses, what you have to it, so the believe in yourself, and also have the confidence and the recite it. And making your mind calm, and the calm mind have the power to heal our body, right? Mind and matter is always have a very strong connection. They are connected to each other. So when our mind is defiled, our mind is impure, then it affects our physical body. Even moderns, the doctors and the scientists have found that many common the sicknesses we are having, even diabetes, gastric and other heart patient and other things, and even the cancer, is because of the defiled mind, the stress, the depressions, and other sort, anger, agony, all kind of the negative emotions we are holding. It's because of the grudges that we are having. The purifying can have the healing power. So Bojjhanga Sutta, Buddha recited, and the Buddha was asked to recite it as the healing tool. So we mindfully listen, actually, not recite it to ourselves. When Buddha was sick, Buddha didn't recite that sutta himself to get cured. Buddha asked Venerable Chunda to recite it. When Venerable Maha Kassapa was sick, Buddha approached and went there, and Buddha recited these Bojjhangas. Then Venerable Maha Kassapa was asked to listen mindfully. The same thing, when Venerable Moggallana, Arahat Moggallana was sick, then Buddha asked Venerable Moggallana listen to the Bojjhanga while Buddha was listening, while Buddha was reciting. So of course, when we are reciting to ourselves, we feel better, we feel calm and happy. It can affect us. But if we follow the sutta, it's better to ask someone to recite it and listen mindfully. That healing power comes not only the word and content in the sutta, how our confidence in the sutta, the content, and how ethical we are, and how purify the person who recite. So all these conditions come together, they have the healing power. Right? The Angulimala Sutta. See you know Angulimala Sutta, right? Angulimala Sutta is a very short one. When Angulimala, you know, right? Angulimala, the Ahinsaka, he killed almost 999 people to fulfill the teacher's wish, right? Yeah. So when he attained the Mankoot, attained the liberation, became Arahant monk, one day when he was going out, he saw the mother, the suffering from the labor, delivering the baby. But he didn't know what to do. He returned to the monastery and reported and asked the Buddha, I want to help that mother, but I don't know. She was severely suffering. What Buddha says? Buddha says, so you can help her. Like the Satyakriya, the contemplating yourself, your quality, and wish getting rid of his pain. So he went there, and he make a wish. From my birth. Birth means not the birth from when he was physically born. When he attained the Mankoot, until today, I haven't hurt or killed or hurt any beings. That's true. And based on this truth, may this mother free from pain, physical pain. So then that story says that the mother, the free from that pain and deliver that baby. So he based on his quality, his ethical life. So when we get chanted, the person who chant is always better, is ethically or purified person, the spiritual person. And you yourself observe some kind of ethical conduct, right? You yourself have to believe. You yourself have to establish the morality. Then the healing power, you can get that healing power.
Query on just now the brother asking the so-called Dhamma Vicaya. So for the Bojjhanga and so prerequisite to it, like in order to have the Dhamma Vicaya, meaning that the person must be able or already understand so that they can recall and remember and rethinking back what the thinking on the Dhamma, so that only will be meaningful. Because otherwise, if let's say the person maybe not understand anything, so it will be merely become a mantra or something. That's what do you think about this one?
Understanding always better. So we can develop the confidence. The more we understand the Dhamma, and the more confidence we develop, right? So, for example, the Metta Sutta, if we know the meaning, when we chanted it, we know the meaning of every single word. So when we chanted it, we ask somebody to chant it, the more the peace and happiness we can develop. So same as here, Dhamma Vicaya or the Bojjhanga Suttas, it's always better to have the understanding, know the meaning. Yeah, it's not then become like the blindly believing. But listening, again, by listening, even though you don't know the meaning, still you can get the benefits. It's because of the power of the person who chant, and it's because of how you purify, how you calm and relax by listening to the chanting. Pronunciation also very important. Very important also. Pronunciation also important. Yeah. Yeah, this is the three reasons they reject the rites and ritual, the scholars particularly. Because of the Silabbata Paramasa, they are misunderstanding Silabbata Paramasa. This point I already explained. The second one is Pali Nikaya do not contain any explicit details accounts of the rites and ritual. In the Pali Nikaya, we cannot find any passage which explain with any rites and ritual. Explain means Buddha accept any rites and ritual. There is no explicit, the clear passage actually. Yeah, but on the other hand, there is no any the obvious the answer or any passage Buddha reject rites and ritual. And even we cannot believe that because Indian people, right, they are practicing a lot of rites and ritual from the birth to death. So we cannot believe that, we cannot think that immediately they enter to the Buddhist order, not order, become a Buddhist, not monks and nuns, lay people. We cannot believe that they immediately abandon all those rites and ritual, right? Especially lay Buddhist followers during the time of the Buddha, they still carry on their rites and ritual. So we cannot believe that. I think there is no reason to. It's unreason, right? To believe that Indian people and the Buddhist lay followers of the Buddha during the time of the Buddha abandon all those rites and ritual. Immediately they became a Buddhist. But Buddha didn't emphasize that point. It's because that rites and ritual mostly performed by the Brahmin. So nothing to do with the Buddhist monks and nuns by that time. But when things are changed, so that role and responsibility took over by the monks and nuns. For example, during the colonial period in Sri Lanka, so Buddhism was badly affected by the Christian missionary and also the political policies of the colonialism. By that time, what Sri Lankan Buddhist monk did was introduce kind of the rites and ritual. Some based on the Buddhism, some are not. The purpose is to unite the Buddhist community and identify their religious identity. So there is no then, even though then, no any clear explanation is in the Tripitaka to reject of the rites and ritual, and there is no clear explanation on the Tripitaka that Buddha rejected rites and ritual. And there is no reason to believe that Indian Buddhist followers abandon all rites and rituals because they are integral part of their life, rites and ritual. There are so many sacraments and rites and ritual in Hindu practice. They are practicing. Yeah, they are not harmful at all as well actually. Yeah, right? Yeah. So this is another point is rites and ritual do not resonate with the rational dimension of early Buddhist teaching. So Buddha preaches the Dhamma, the deep in meaning and philosophical, thoroughly get rid of or cessation of the suffering, right? Understanding suffering and cessation of the suffering. So that is the purpose of the preaching the Dhamma. So those scholars think that if we follow in the rites and ritual, it is against that purpose. But it doesn't mean that the elite Buddhists do not have to practice the rites and ritual. So everyone is engaged in rites and ritual because it itself can create the merits. And itself can help us to transform ourselves. Inner transformation can be done. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So simple act of the rites and ritual wherein the blessing trade. So it remind you are Buddhist and you are uphold the kind of the Buddhist principles. So when you are, when your mind is, when you are going to do something bad, when you say, it's kind of the tools of mindfulness. Oh, I'm a Buddhist, so I should not do this one. Right? Yeah. No. If you, of course, if you can the blessing, if you can get the blessing from the Arahant or the Saint one, it is blessed. It's of course, yeah, there's no argument, no doubt at all. But as you says that, how can we know that that person is attained that kind of thing? There's no way to know, right? And that person who attained that kind of the Arahant to achievement, they never says that I have achieved this kind of the attainment. So in this sense, so its intention is very important as well. It's two factors is exit is much better. Okay, it's much better. So in the both side, yeah, this is much better. But in not always is happening, right? It's not yeah. So at least, so believe in yourself. You know yourself much better, right? We don't know other person. What kind of how is that person's mentally? We don't know, right? There's no way to know that. So then, what we have to do is, so you know yourself better, so you believe in that yourself. When you are chanting particularly, when you are get the blessing from the chanting, so you develop that shraddha yourself, and confidence, then the foundational trust. And so then listening to the chanting mindfully. And maintain, for example, you are seeking blessing upon the good health and maintain the loving, compassionate thought to yourself by the power of this chanting, listening to this chanting which contains the Buddha's, Dhamma's and Sangha's virtue. May I be get well soon. May I have this speedy recovery. May I be free from the danger. So throughout this listening to the chanting, you maintain that thought. I'm not saying that you stop. It's a foolish that you stop altogether the medicine and just believe in the chanting. You know, yeah. The one who's seeking blessing is in the coma. Yeah. In this kind of the situation, circumstances, maybe the one who chant, his mentality, intention, and the loving, compassionate thought will help. Will help on for the recovery or the blessings. You know, not only the chanting, even though we are offering lunch, offering dana, offering something to somebody, it's also the both sides would be the purified, right? So, yo silava silavantisu dadati dana, it says that, right? When you offer something, and we can get the more merits, more blessing, if the both sides, the receiver and the donor are ethical, then the result is the more. But we also know that when the Buddhas practicing the dana paramita, the perfection of generosity, he always didn't meet someone who is ethical, right? So if he only donated, only offer something to the ethical person, I don't think so that he would have attained the enlightenment, right? So it's very difficult to find that always. So his last, the Vesantara Jataka, so where he donated the beloved son and daughter, right? To whom he donated? Jujaka, right? He's a very unethical person, right? So what he believes in himself. So I am practicing the righteousness. I am practicing morality. I am practicing this quality and that quality myself. So believing in himself, relying on himself, he practiced. So another Jataka story, Veluwa Brahman time. So he had the thought, if there is any ethical person in the world to receive my offering, he will be happier. And he had his bowl is full of water. The water will remain even though it's upside down. If there's any ethical person in the world by that time who come and receive my dhan. So all the water was the drop. It means there's no ethical persons by that time. And again he says that I can get the full merits and benefits by offering this dana, relying on myself, relying on my ethical conduct, relying on my qualities. By offering this dana, then he turned this cup bowl, then all the water was remain. It symbolically means that relying on yours, if you don't know the other person quality and the sila or any other qualities, then relying on yourself, your quality, because you know better that you know yourself, even though you don't know about others, right? Yeah, can do it, but no example we can found in the Tripitaka. But I know that the Burmese tradition, and I saw myself as well. I never miss chanting to myself. It means just kind of keep remembering the things. Basic the threefold sutta. I keep chanting to myself, and also I believe in that I can get the benefits. In the Burma, the people chant the whole. The one part of the Abhidhamma, Patthana Pakarana, and some the Buddhist discourses. And one monk, one of my friend told me that the one well-known Burmese monk, he chant every day, and he explained his experience at night when he chant, so he can feel kind of the very pleasant smell. His room and his monastery. So monks ask about it, what is that? And monks, that the senior monk, who chant, he says that at night he feels that the divine being visiting and listen to his chanting. So the people can chant themselves and still can get the benefit, but not just like the blindly chanting. Okay, we have to be mindfully chanting. We have to chant mindfully. And we have to, even the 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 10 minutes you chant, you mindfully chant it. Because sometimes when you are learn by heart the chanting, Karaniya Metta Sutta or Itipiso Bhagava or any kind of thing, so when you learn, when you remember, very beginning you are very mindfully chanted, in the middle you lost your mindfulness, mind is start wandering, again you know the end. So it doesn't make, it don't bring the benefits. So we have to do it mindfully. It means physically, mentally, you have to prepare. At home, that's why quite difficult actually. At home you chant while you are washing, cooking, eating or cooking. You cannot get the benefit, right? So you have to physically prepare. I am going to do this ritual. Or you bow down, offer something, cup of water to the Buddha statue, Buddha, and you bow down and sit comfortably, and you start chanting. I think our lay, thank you so much. This is, I think our late chief has given a talk in this one, right? So it's very interesting one. It's available in the YouTube. You can listen to it. So it's very nicely explained. So anyway, so burning, right? It's a part of your culture actually. part of your culture. Even though it doesn't harm to yourself, it doesn't harm to the other people. But still, I think that now people have awareness, burning a lot of papers and all these things, bring kind of the environmental issues, right? Air pollution, all these things. I know that Taiwan, instead of the burning papers, they have the video that shows that the burning papers. They create the video during the Qingming time, so they don't physically burn the paper. They have the big monitor here and there, and there they show that burning papers. So there's no smoke. It's environmentally friendly. And I know that in the Singapore, when I was there, so people they burn the big box, right? I don't know what to call it. So some monasteries, they kindly make a notice, please be mindful, please be kind to the environment. Instead of the burning papers. You can burn, but they said don't burn this kind of item. Don't burn this and that. So they are reducing. They have that awareness. Yeah. But it's very cultural and very sensitive thing. So even the Buddhists, in the Chinese Buddhists, still they follow, right? They follow burning papers and the fake monies and all these things. Yeah.
Good evening, Bhante. The question is, I observe Muslim, Christians, even among Buddhists, the way we pray differently. Because for Christians, they sit on the bench. Right? The temple I used to go, we used to kneel down to do chanting. Okay? But if you look at what the rites and ritual, I think this one, Lord Buddha won't be that agreeable, kneeling down and do chanting. You know? So, because the knees, as you grow older, cannot take it. I think the best part is to sit on a chair. I think that is the best one. I think, thank you, Bhante, for explaining the rites rituals accepted or rejected by Lord Buddha. Thank you.
Again, it is about our intention. Of course, you are physically have the damage, so you can always find the comfortable posture. So it's not about just kneeling down or sitting on the cushion or sitting on the chair. It's about our intention, how we do it, how we want to do it, how we want to respect to the Buddha, right? So not only the kneel down, some Buddhists, they have the full prostration, right? Yeah, full prostration. So some do it tradition, following the tradition, they blindly follow it. Some do it when they have understanding, practice, they develop that kind of faith. Then they are ready to do any kind of thing. It's because they are so pleased with the Dhamma. The happiness they gain to the Dhamma by practicing, they're happy to do anything. Happy to do anything, not the bad, the killing himself. Huh? I mean, they develop that kind of the confidence. Right? Yeah. It is about intention. Yeah. So, yeah, if you feel that if you cannot bow down, when you bow down, you have the knee pain or any other pain, and then you are not mindfully do it because you are pain here and there, then you can sit on the chair comfortably and take a moment and relax, and then you can do the prostration. Your respect to the Buddha. Yeah, I think that's the important thing. Understanding is the important, no? Okay, it's around 9:40. Okay, so let's share the merits with the divine beings, celestial beings, and bodhisattvas. So may all celestial beings, bodhisattvas, receive these merits and enjoy these merits. May they be well, health, and happy and peaceful. With that thought, we say sadhu 3 times to share the merits with the divine being. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And also we transfer merits to our departed ones. So from your father's side and mother's side who was passed away, and your friends, teachers, whoever the passed away by your name, may all rejoice these merits. Having rejoiced these merits, they shortens their samsaric journey and attain bliss of Nibbana. With that thought, we say sadhu 3 times to share transfer merit with our departed ones. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, listening to Dhamma and preaching the Dhamma, sharing and transferring merits with the divine and departed ones. May all be blessed with good health, happiness and peaceful life. May you inspire the Dhamma to live a peaceful, compassion, love life. And finally, may the merits be helpful each and every one of you to have a very smooth samsaric journey towards bliss of Nibbana. With that thought, to rejoice the merits, say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I will recite some blessing in these stanzas in order to bless you. Sabbhitiyo vivajjantu sabbharogo vinassatu mate bhavantvantarajo sukhi digayuko bhava bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata sabbha buddhanubhavena sada sonti bhavantu te bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata sabbha dhammanubhavena sada sonti bhavantu te bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata sabbha sanghanubhavena sada sonti bhavantu te abhivadana silissa niccang vacchapachayino cattaro dhamma vardhanti ayuvanno sukham balam. May you be well and happy. Okay, so.